everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you happen to be just generally wanting to figure out what all this multiplayer talk with No Rest for the Wicked is about, well, you're in the right place. In this video, and we're doing this actually as a live stream, because here in about 30 minutes, Thomas is going to be jumping in, answering the community questions. Now, I want to set a little bit of expectation for those of us who have been diehard fans and been following this game so close since the beginning. There's probably going to be some questions that we already know the answer to, but hopefully what the goal of these Q&As are is really about reaching bigger audiences, people who might have stopped following the game after such a clear period of time. But as a preparation, I thought it would be really good to spend this time and actually kind of make the video that I've been trying to make all week. For those who don't know, we've been under massive amounts of deployments, lots of change requests. Things have been going well, but I've been so slammed. So there's been information that's come out, and I'm going to share it with you guys in this video so we can dive into it. Now, some of you, especially who've been following this channel for any period of time, might be going, what's up with the mustache, Brian? What's the story behind that? So I do want to say thanks, guys, so much for noticing. We are working on growing back the beard in and of itself, but I do want to share this with you guys as a thank you. If you guys either hit that like button or if you hit that hype button. For those who don't know, if you're on mobile, apparently there's a hype button. You can use 3 a week. Well, you don't have to use them here, but regardless, apparently it helps out the channel. I was in Vegas for my sister's birthday. The TLDR, my wife said I can shave it into a mustache to join my brother-in-law, who you can see here, as long as I at least shaved it into a monkey tail first, which is what you can see here on the left. So as a thank you, I hope you guys enjoy that image in and of itself. But there's plenty to cover, and we're going to spend a little bit of time today going through these various different posts. And as Yammer likes to point out, this is me just kind of summoning my inner 70s porn star. So thank you so much for that, Yammer. All right, let's dive into the content here itself as we wait for Thomas and the crew to go live. We will be also live reacting to that here in this live stream. I might take this and chop it into 2 parts or something like that for those of you who are interested. I do have a hard out as I have another meeting to kind of get back into this deployment mindset, and we'll go from there. Also, for those of you, I do see chat, but we're going to focus in on kind of the content of making this as a video for those of you who just want to consume the VOD as opposed to like being a part of a live stream or watching a VOD's live stream. However, if you are watching this as a live stream, tip of the hat. Thank you so much for being here. You are truly, truly legendary. But let's kick it off first. This starts off, if those of you who aren't aware, the beta signups, they tweeted this out. I'll also see if I can get a link in the description of the video for you guys. So if you haven't signed up for the upcoming beta for multiplayer, you can do so. I believe it is under NDA. So if I get in or whatever, I don't know what we'll be able to share, when we'll be able to share it. But as we get closer, especially to the Game Awards, I think it is highly possible that they are at least hoping to be able to use that for some form of marketing to help re-energize the community, especially around a multiplayer update. All right, so they tweeted this out. Wicked fans, you've been waiting a long time for this, and so have we. We have our first co-op closed beta test coming up soon, and we want you in. If you want to take part, please fill out the questionnaire below. It includes a quick FAQ with everything you need to know before signing up, and we'll only accept a few players for this first test. Can't wait to see you in Sacra. And then they go on with additional things, like obviously promoting what we're going to be live reacting to here today, saying, you've got questions, Thomas has answers, part 2. This Thursday, Thomas is going to be live and answering your biggest questions about No Rest of the Wicked. Drop your questions in, and we'll see if they get answered. And for those of you who don't know, when it's all said and done, there might be some really good takeaways. There might be just a lot of information that if you've been following the game for any period of time, you already know. And that roughly starts at the time of this in here in about 28 minutes. But it goes beyond that, because what they went and did is they put up a post over on Steam going over everything that is the focus and why multiplayer and what they're hoping to do. So let's go ahead and dive into that now. Stating, hey everyone, it's been a little quiet lately because we've been rebuilding. As we move closer to our 1.0 release, the team is in deep trenches, polishing systems and getting some wild ideas and pushing towards one of the most requested features, co-op. And yes, we've been playing Wicked a lot to ensure that when this update launches, you'll have exactly the experience we've always wanted you to have. With No Rest for the Wicked, we've always aspired to change what multiplayer could mean for an ARPG, not just joining someone else's session temporarily, but truly living together in the same world. A world that remembers you, whether you started a realm or joined one. A world shaped by what you and your friends leave behind. What it means for Wicked. They've always really believed the multiplayer experience in ARPGs lies somewhere between this and a traditional handed co-op, and how MMORPGs do more social than what ARPGs have, less restrictive than possible within an MMO. When someone joins our world in Wicked, they don't just pass through and they become a citizen of what can help shape, create memories within it. Moments like your friends resurrecting you just in time to beat an impossible boss, or you just logging and mourning and finding them peacefully finishing at the pond. Your realm celebrating after we finally have that exclusive item, that elusive item, and everyone wanted, or your buddy finding a particularly creative way to troll you. But they continue. Those moments become stories that you'll tell forever, stories your realm remembers. This is what makes co-op in Wicked so different, because you're playing on a persistent shared realm, and you and your friends aren't just guests in each other's games. You're co-architects of a shared world that belongs to you. Trading in Wicked, and teamwork here, is one simple idea: connection. You can walk up to any player and trade face-to-face or drop items into shared chests that everyone contributes to. It's organic, it's unpredictable, and it's already creating the kind of stories we love. Someone trading soup for armor, or gifting a rare weapon to help a friend survive. Those moments aren't scripted, they're human. And we can't wait to see what the kind of co-op wild co-op stories that you guys all come up with. Their vision for it, and for us, we've always tried to make worlds feel alive and worth caring about. Co-op takes one step further, turning a single player experience into something deeply personal between players. When you rebuild Sacrament with your friends, it stops being the city and becomes your city. When you fall in battle and they pull you back up, it's not just survival, it's connection. When you share a home chest and find something new inside, a gift, a weapon, food, it's a small moment of gratitude. When you spend 20 minutes arguing about furniture placement and chaos becomes part of your story, and then you log off and you see what changes they made while you were gone, the world suddenly feels alive. That's the world that we want to give you, and that proves games can still surprise you, and not because of what we script, but because of what you can create together. For the community, they've been dissecting trailers, spinning theories, and catching every small detail we thought we could sneak past you. We love it. Keep doing that. It's the best kind of pressure. There's even a fan-made FAQ with a link to it that covers everything from potential 1.0 plans to our stance on zero microtransactions. If you're not in our Discord yet, now's the time and the best place to share feedback and ask questions and show your favorite moments with new friends. So what's next? We know you all have been eagerly waiting the co-op update. We're going to share the release date as soon as we can. And for those of you who don't know, release date in context of the multiplayer update, the main release date, which I know many, especially console players out there, are looking forward to. That is still on the horizon. It says right now we're focusing on tuning, polishing, and making sure our first session with friends feels unforgettable. The kind that keeps you up too late saying just one more run. So they also then go on to share a glimpse of a kind of a GIF of multiplayer. And if my editor is amazing, which he is, maybe we can actually cut that in to the edited video for everybody to see. But if you haven't seen it, this post is up on the Steam page and you can go watch it now. I'm betting that what we're going to be witnessing as a part of this live stuff today is literally going to be focusing in on multiplayer, which we have a T-minus of 23 minutes and 26 seconds. Now there's other posts that they've shared in the Discord that we can kind of spend some time going over with. Okay, let's pull some of this stuff up. Special thanks again to Zach the Slack, who tagged me. There's lots of little conversations with Thomas. We're going to highlight that. And for those who don't know, if you don't know the release date, then there are no delays. I think internally that the multiplayer test has taken a much longer than they really anticipated. And this is due to how multiplayer really is. However, we are like every day getting closer and closer. And I hope, man, it would be really cool if they're able to kind of share with us that kind of detail here on today's stream, but we'll find out. All right, Thomas writes a big post over on Discord. He says, wait, That's not the important info, though. When being asked about, would it be nice to get any meaningful information about systems, acting like trading items and letting anyone push the upgrade town button is a novel design. He says that's not the important information. I think that the that'll blow people's hair back is what they're basically turning Wicked into the first ever mini MMORPG. That's honestly a really interesting discussion in and of itself. We saw, if you guys haven't seen, like Final Fantasy 14 Square Enix laying off the West and the UK, big, huge swaths of their people division, and a lot of translation, a lot of kickback, a lot of discussion about why and whatnot over on, obviously X. But what we are also now seeing is them talking about rethinking, remaking, and Final Fantasy 14, right? Something that is more appealing to those who have less and less time. And I think essentially that's going to be something. I don't know if we'll explore that as a topic here on this channel or over on the MMO channel, but mini MMORPG, we've been calling it kind of MMO lights, but mini kind of before that is also kind of interesting to see, because it does give Wicked does kind of have that vibe to a degree without feeling like there's a huge amount of commitment, like in a subscription or microtransactions. Well, bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it works out for him. I think it's a really good thing, and we'll have to wait and see if people also agree with that. All right. He says, meaning if you create a realm, it's now hosted on our servers and will always be there for any player who got invited to the realm. I think it is the bit that players don't quite get yet, and probably because it's not been done like that yet. Basically, it's like this. Older ARPGs, simplistic, host and guest model. You play your save file, I play mine, and we can invite each other to temporarily, but then we just keep playing our own states. You never really share a world together. You never really become a true RPG party. It's all about feeling and being that feeling being hacked in. Modern ARPGs try to stream a random effing player, so they create the illusion that you're playing in a world with others. But because these are completely random folks and oftentimes just AI bots, you'll never have any meaningful interaction with them. MMORPGs, great. Here you can have actual realms that are always there, but since you play with 10,000 people on a server, no interaction by any one player can ever really truly be meaningful. I might push back on that. It really depends on how the MMORPG is designed. I do think modern design, absolutely, that's a big problem with the current MMORPGs. However, with I guess more the sandbox and legacy, also when you weren't competing with social media and things like that, yeah, MMOs kind of had a little bit more interaction, but over time it has since been going and going and going. Anyhow, see here, MMORPGs are great. They have actually realms that are always there, but since you play with 10,000 people on a server, no interaction with any player can ever be truly meaningful. Souls-likes, they have the worst multiplayer of all. Temporarily invite some random dude to help you with the boss, and they get booted off your game. So all this sucks, doesn't it? Well, I think the solution is that we did, and we akin to the Minecraft realms, except that it's free and you don't. I'm going to hide the chat so I can finish that one. Work together, and the only way that you get those magical moments is that you just hitting the continue to play your game. Oh, look, your buddy is already out there fishing somewhere, and you can just randomly stumble across them. So Wicked will feel like a mini MMORPG, and that only takes 4 players per realm. But that now means that every interaction from every player is meaningful, and that is the only way to truly and finally fix multiplayer in ARPGs. IMO. All right, let's see here. Going to the next post. All right. In reply to our tagging Corpse Smeared Blade 2, the sequel, I read your feedback, and to some degree, I agree with you. For Breach, we definitely pulled back on some of the things simply because fans have bombarded us with those requests. And I do think ultimately that's a good idea to listen to players, as long as I look at myself in a mirror and go, I may not be on board with this immediately, but I can still stand behind that idea. What that's happening with fast travel, and yes, what you brought up is ultimately the solution where it's going to be. There will be royal chests sprinkled throughout Isola Sacra, and those will contain resources, and that'll be used for very special things. Unlocking Whispers might fall into one of those special things. I don't think you have to worry that we're going to go and do the WoW thing that Blizzard has done ever since major design, but ultimately do the WoW thing. Blizzard has always done every major design decision, ultimately still always has to go through me. I don't think I should have the ego to always just make things go my way. Every now and then we'll have players just bring to used a certain thing that might be better for the game ultimately, and allow certain things to have us designers and then work around the outcomes of those things once more, instead of being stubborn and alienating players. Ultimately, I think there's a major design to handle that. I think we'll handle that through realm mods in the end. I don't think we'll be able to make Wicked perfect for you, just as you can't make a dish that is the most delicious for every person out there. But what we can do is give you a menu, and you can pick what you like the most. And that is what would happen with realm mods. As an analogy, back in the day when I played GoldenEye and Halo with my friends and family, we got really good at both games. So it sucked to us when the default mode was all about draining health slowly. We preferred playing with License to Kill, turning it on for the equivalent in Halo, meaning one shot and you're dead. So now put yourself into the shoes of a dev. That's not a mod that you'd want to make the default for all players, but since most players would lose their minds if you make it that hardcore. But having that mod made those games way more fun for me and my friends. Hopefully you see what I mean. Then, even bigger post here, stating, by the way, here's how I explain our multiplayer approach to our family internally that think they should clarify pretty well. To me, the innovation of our side is hopefully this will allow to push the genre forward, and we basically adopt the Minecraft Realms model, but we don't even change for it. It sucks to have to communicate with others to temporarily create fake multiplayer scenarios and then just temporarily hop on other save files. You'll never truly share a world together, but you'll never be able to become a real RPG party like you were in an MMORPG. PoE and Diablo 4 have tried to solve this issue by just streaming in random players into your game to create the illusion that you're sharing the world with others, but who really gives a crap? It results in super unexciting stuff that you now playing with 15 other players and bots that all have to fire stupidly at some boss. Great. Did you ever feel substantial? Did that feel substantial to you? Did you ever make a friend in D4 or PoE? Now, I'm sure there are people out there who have for sure made a friend out there in those, but it is going to be what it is. Anyway, no, you couldn't really, cause they are all a bunch of randos and you're just doing the same stuff and streaming randos into your world. To me, just entirely wrong approach to fix this issue. Now, I do wonder, this time maybe more of a discussion, how much of this, like where we are at the stage of lives that we are, right? Like, are we busy with, work, family, many other things, right? Like there's so many other things that could be going on. I know that I'm not out there looking for randos. Like if you're not in my Discord or you're not on my friends list on Steam or Xbox or stuff like that, like that's, like I'm not actively seeking that right now, but that could also just be a stage of my life. It could be a stage of Thomas's. I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially if you are always interested in those randos. I think asynchronous multiplayer is a really important part of these. The idea that it feels like even in Helldivers 2 is the best example I could kind of give you guys of asynchronous multiplayer, because you have kind of this bigger, broader mission that's going on. So even though you and maybe three other of your friends are doing something, you are contributing to a bigger kind of goal. And it'd be really cool to see if No Rest for the Wicked ended up having something like that, because you could have your shared realms, but it'd be really interesting to see if there was just like, hey, how many people, how many times can this boss be killed? Can you knock him out 10,000 times across all the realms and all the players? Something like that, where it's like, yeah, we did it twice. We took out a small percentage, but overall we're contributing to a bigger goal. That's, I think, something that I personally look and like about MMORPGs that have that player-driven economy. It brings in an asynchronous multiplayer to the approach. All right, back to what he said. MMORPGs are way better in that regard, since you care about your clan members. But because of the nature of MMOs, you're now playing in a world that's completely fake and nothing you do really matters. And just doing the same stuff that everyone else does to get better gear and make gear numbers go up, You'll never be the cool dude who killed Arthas because everyone else on the server also killed Arthas. The only way to solve this issue is to get closer to what the players really desire is to mine the approach, like what we're trying to do. You're sharing a world, but you're only sharing it with a handful of people. So no, the model isn't perfect either, but it is sure as a shoot to me that it's a lot closer to the things than they should be what has been done before. And let's please not even bring Souls games into the mix. Their approach to multiplayer is just he says retarded. Even if there is a moment of fun to have there, but you're temporarily inviting a guest to only have them hit the boss a few times and then getting booted out of your game, basically just hack the multiplayer, and also really create the feeling of you and your buddies being a true fellowship. And that is exactly what I'm ultimately after. I want to feel I'm playing Secret of Mana again. Oh, such a great game. Again, but without having to physically be in the same spot at the same time. I want those moments where we share a realm with Patrick, and I just randomly see Patrick fishing and farming when we log in the morning. Not because we had to make an appointment, but to get a call in order to set up multiplayer session, but because Patrick and I share a world and we're both invested into it. I want those moments where Sergey then also hops onto our game and becomes a citizen and tells us about a weapon upgrade he needs, but doesn't have the resources, only for Sergey to wake up the next morning and find the resources in the community chest because somebody tried to make him happy. Or moments like when people sharing a realm and someone finding a particular item that everyone wants, and now that small group has to negotiate who gets to have it. And those aren't the kind of experiences that you can have right now with most ARPGs out there. They're just weirdly fake and crappy spot where multiplayer never really feels like you're on a journey with your friends, or you have to work together to make it happen. That's the vision that I think really is unique, and I want us to realize.
Hearts racing wild, breath hanging thin. One wrong step and it's back to where you've been. The stakes are high, no second chance. You ride or you fall, this life ain't a